"Sir, I said stand when you're addressing this court." The judge's voice cracked like a whip through the silent courtroom. All eyes turned to the defendant, a weathered man in a faded army jacket, sitting in a wheelchair, his hands trembling slightly as he gripped the armrests. The bailiff shifted uncomfortably. The veteran didn't move. Murmurs rippled through the gallery. Some were shocked. Others looked confused. The judge, a stern man with a reputation for no-nonsense justice, leaned forward, glaring. "Did you not hear me, Mr. Thompson?" The man swallowed hard, his voice raspy but firm. "I can't, Your Honor. I lost the use of my legs in Fallujah." The judge paused, visibly stunned. The silence deepened, growing almost painful. A woman in the back gasped. A young boy gripped his mother's hand tighter. For a moment, time seemed to stop. Then the judge did something no one expected. He stood up, not just from his bench, but walked down the steps, across the courtroom, and approached the wheelchair. The room held its collective breath. With slow steps, he came to stand beside the veteran. Then he bent down and whispered something no one could hear. The veteran's eyes welled with tears. He nodded. The judge looked back at the courtroom and spoke clearly this time. "Let the record show, Mr. Thompson has already given this country more than any of us could ever ask. He owes this court nothing." Gasps turned to sniffles. Someone in the gallery clapped. It started with one, then two, then a wave of applause, rising like a storm breaking silence. Even the stenographer wiped a tear from her cheek. But the story didn't begin there. James Thompson was once a decorated Marine. He'd enlisted right after high school, driven by a need to serve something bigger than himself. By 23, he was leading missions through the most dangerous parts of Iraq. During one such mission, a roadside bomb tore through their convoy. James shielded 2 of his men with his own body. He saved lives, but lost the use of his legs. When he returned home, the war didn't end. It followed him, in sleepless nights, in hospital beds, in a country that called him a hero but offered little help. Jobs turned him away. His savings dried up. He lived in shelters, then on the streets. And finally, desperate, he stole medicine from a pharmacy, not to get high, but to survive. That's why he was in court that day, charged with theft, facing time behind bars. The judge had seen hundreds like him, but none had touched him quite like James. Maybe it was the look in his eyes, stoic, proud, yet hollow with pain. Or maybe it was the way the courtroom shifted that day, not in chaos, but in a collective awakening. The judge called for a recess, but he didn't leave. Instead, he sat down beside James, and they talked. Not as judge and defendant, but as men, as Americans. One who had fought wars in courtrooms, the other in deserts and dirt. When court resumed, the judge cleared his throat. "I have reviewed Mr. Thompson's record. This man is not a criminal. He's a survivor. He's a protector. And this court will not punish him for being let down by the very country he served." He slammed the gavel down, not in condemnation, but in absolution. Case dismissed. Cheers erupted. Reporters who were covering another case rushed into the room. Cameras flashed. But the judge wasn't interested in headlines. He turned to James and placed a hand on his shoulder. "You stood for us. It's time we stand for you." What followed was nothing short of a miracle. The courtroom transformed into a movement. The judge connected James to veteran support networks. A non-profit offered him a place to live. A therapist volunteered her services. And the bailiff, a former soldier himself, helped James get fitted for a new motorized wheelchair. Weeks later, James rolled into that same courthouse, not as a defendant, but as a guest of honor. A ceremony was held. The judge presented him with a plaque, "For courage beyond the call." When he spoke, James said only this: "I thought my country forgot me. But today I remember what it means to be American." The courtroom wept, not in pity, but in pride. Not for the pain he endured, but for the strength he showed. Because sometimes justice isn't about laws. It's about humanity. It's about recognizing the unseen battles people fight. And it's about knowing when to bend the rules to do what's right. Before we end this story, let us know in the comment, where are you watching from? If this story touched you, subscribe to the channel and hit that like button and drop a comma in the comments below.